Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Brittany and today I am coming to you very excited because one of my most recent pen pals introduced me to fountain pen inks and syringes. So I'll explain that, but before I get into that, I also wanted to film today because thanks to that pen pal introducing me to that, I have been having so much fun decorating and being artistically creative with splatters created through fountain pen ink and syringes. And so I ordered more samples, but also because I am going to share with you guys what I have been doing for the month of June 2024 in my Hobonichi Techo book for the monthly calendar. I haven't shared that in a while, so I will do a glance back at May and then I will show you what I'm working in June and get that caught up with you guys today because I am behind, but my order of samples arrived today, so it's like perfect timing. So I'm hopping on here. It's going to be an impromptu video. It's not going to be too long, I hope not, but we're going to do some of these samples together and I'll just share with you what I've been doing. So let me turn to June and I will show you May. So for the month of May 2024, I decided to swatch, whatever, some washi tapes. And I decided to do this because a lot of my pen pals were including some washi tapes in with their letters. And then also I decided to use up some of my favorite ones just to kind of like keep record of you know, washi tapes that I have used in the past that I really enjoyed. And then I also wanted to put some packaging washi tape. So like when I ordered certain stationery items, for example, they sealed up the packaging with some washi tape. So I wanted to save that. And then this is just a sticker here, not washi, because I received my Tokyo Limited Travelers Company TN set that day, so I thought that needed to be different. And then these are the ones that I made with you guys during my Vlogmas in 2023, if you recognize those ones. And then this is a new one that I made of my male orange tabby cat, Astro. He was sick when I was sick. Actually, we were sick together, and I was so afraid that he was going to pass away, but very luckily he survived. He had a very bad respiratory infection, but he is doing much better now, back to his old playful self. So that's what I did for the month of May. And then for June of 2024, I have been swatching out my fountain pen inks. And I got this idea from a pen pal also who shares their daily ink for their Instagram posts. Sometimes they'll just do like a little scratch or color block of the ink. Other times they'll actually draw a little doodle in the ink for the day. And then sometimes they will write like a famous quote in the ink for the day. But I kind of wanted mine all together instead of in the individual daily. So I used my calendar for this, and I was very happy to learn that there's not that much bleeding or ghosting. So that's not going to interfere with July. And May, it really didn't impact anyways, just because I have the washies already on the blocks. So I'm behind on this. I'm going to get caught up today. Today is Monday the 24th. Yes, Monday the 24th. And so I'm going to use the samples that came today. And I have not used any of these samples. This is how they came. They were in a bag like this. These are some other ones that I pulled out for my thumbnail photo. They are all from Goulet pens. And they have really affordable samples, actually. I was looking at another stationery shop that I frequent and rely on for a lot of my go-to items, and they were much more expensive. They were like double, but Goulet was really affordable, and for this project I didn't need that much anyway, so I certainly wasn't going to invest in a full bottle. So this was a perfect way to get just a little bit. And then if I like any of these, obviously I'm going to go get the larger bottle. Because my color palette for my personal collection is this top row. It's not very diverse, and honestly I can't even take credit for all of those. So like this one here, I can't take credit for because that was gifted to me by a pen pal. Same with this one, I can't take credit for that either. That was also a gift from the same pen pal. Let me see. This one here, the Frosted Orchid Orchid by Diamine inks, that was gifted to me by a pen pal. So really, if you take those ones out, my personal collection is very small. And then these ones are from the set that my newest pen pal sent. They sent me these cute little vials. I didn't even know that these were a thing. So when I say that I am like a newbie in the fountain pen world, guys, I really am a newbie. I know I've been writing with fountain pens for years now with my pen pals, but it was a pen pal who introduced me to fountain pens, and it has been pen pals consistently throughout the years who have introduced me to inks. So and now they're introducing me to syringes, which I didn't even know that there were pens that you would have to fill with a syringe. So that was a whole feat, let me tell you. And more or less my entire desk got covered in ink because I spilled it everywhere. My hands were dyed for a little bit because I got the ink all over me. So hopefully using some tissues today, I'll be a little bit more clean about it. But in addition to having these really awesome little samples, it arrived really quickly, so I was impressed with that. I just ordered these a couple of days ago. I believe when my friend sent me, when their ink samples arrived is when I ordered them, because I knew that I was going to run out. I didn't swatch all of my pen friends' inks. I just did like my favorite ones from the collection that they sent. And so I am going to show you what those other ones were that didn't get swatched. I have them here. And obviously they look a little different on this paper because this is like a 32-pound weight paper versus the thin kind of Tommy River of the Hobonichi Techo. I don't know for sure that that's Tommy River, but that is what it reminds me of. So I might be incorrect there, but these are the other ones that they sent. Absolutely had a blast that day. I spent hours playing with this, guys. So I'm very thankful to that pen pal. And then they also were so kind and sent me 2 fountain pens. So I am just like completely spoiled right now and loving every minute of it. But so what I did was, oh, and these are the little gifts or inclusions that Goulet or Goulet pens put in with the samples, which I thought is super cool because I do have Lamy pens. I have 2 gifted by another pen friend, and then this little lollipop. I thought that was really cool. So let me get those out of the way. So thank you, Goulet pens. Not sponsored at all, guys. I'm just sharing my experience here. But yeah, I have some tissues here and some, this is dot grid 160-pound weight paper from a bullet journal. I just cut a slice out for testing because, again, not all of these are going to go in. Obviously, I don't have enough days of June left, but only my favorite ones. And we're only going to go up to 24 today. So what I've been doing is, with these samples from my pen pal, I just filled a little bit of this syringe up. Like, I watched as I filled it, and when I got to about here, I would empty it back out into the bottle so that there was just like some little dots of ink in the barrel, and then I would take the plunger all the way or halfway up the little tube here, and then I would very quickly press it down to get these little splatters here. And so I decorated the border with that. And then I practiced writing with this too, just because I wanted to see how that would go. And it was a little bit of a challenge, obviously, but I was able to write some with it. So, but I decided that I was going to buy some syringes also. So these are the Goulet ink syringe set. So we're going to open those up and see how those are, if they're any different. I mean, I don't think that they are, but we'll just see. And then we'll get started. So this just looks like a larger barrel. And then instead of having a pointed tip on the needle, it is a smooth or flat tip. So this is obviously designed specifically for ink pens, whereas this one is like a medical grade type ink syringe. It worked fine for what I was doing. So, but now I have these as backups to that. And I think I'm just going to use the one that I'm already comfortable with for this project. Alright, so let's get started. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test on the 160 pound or 160 GSM, sorry, dot grid paper. And then if I like it, it'll go in here and we'll get caught up. So the first one I'm going to go in and try is this. I don't know how to say it, guys. Never heard of this brand. I'm newbie here. I think it's Wearingeul, and it is Dracula. So let me see if I can get a little bit out here. And hopefully I don't spill this with my Techo right there. I'm going to have to be extremely careful. Didn't get any there. Okay, there we go. So once I get about this much in, really just in the tip of it, that's when I stop filling it up. And anything over that, I just put it back in the container. All right, let's see how this goes. And then because this has a slant on the, or a point where that one's flat, you're able to kind of like scratch this out. And then I want to see how it splatters also. Not bad. That's a really bold red. So I like that. This one here is Sailor, and it's Manuhaha or Ha. I think that is a type of fountain pen. I was talking with a pen friend about that recently, the Sailor Mayos. I don't have one. I'm considering getting one though. So I'm not even going to clean this out. That's personal preference. You guys might want to do that so you're not mixing ink. I did not clean it out for any of this, and I think it just added to the art. See if I can get some of this. Okay. Just scratch it out on the paper here. Okay, so this is a nice purpley. Okay. And I honestly don't remember like which inks I got, because I was just so excited that I just filled up my cart, my shopping cart. This one here is that Wearingeul. Again, don't know how to say it, guys. I'm learning. This is a learning process. And the name of the ink is Lost. Scratch this one out. Ooh, I like that one. That one's nice. One of the things that I noticed about some of these, especially when I was doing the splatter, is if you noticed on the 32-pound paper at the edge, and there's probably a name for this, I'm sure, guys, I'm still learning, I'm not sure what it's called, but if you notice around like the edge of the ink, it has a different color. So obviously the main theme here is blue, but then at the edges it's kind of got red. This one is like a gold with like a yellow on the edge. This one has like, it's primarily aqua, but then it's got red at the edges. I don't know what that's called, but I really, really like that. This next one is Colorverse Monkey Head Nebula Glistening. Now, I did just get a Colorverse, my very first Colorverse, and I learned of it thanks to a pen friend. The same one that is doing the 30 days of 30 inks is who introduced me to that. Get this one scratched out. This is a darker blue. And I do think that the splattering part of it is important because the color sometimes looks different in the splatter versus the actual writing of the ink. This one, oh, and if you're wondering, I meant to mention this. If you're wondering why you can't see this ink, it's because that is a glow-in-the-dark ink. I can't remember. Oh, no, I do remember. I got it from Paper Seahorse Stationery in Florida. And it is the phosphorescent ink. So it will glow in the dark, which is really cool. This one here is what reminded me of that. It is Noodler's Firefly. I'm not exactly sure how that is going to show up. And then because I just did blue, it might come out a little different. We'll see. And again, you can, if you're doing this, you can definitely, oh, that's like fluorescent. I like that one. Wash out your syringes after each time. I'm just choosing not to do that. Ooh, there was a lot left in there. Okay, so I think this one is going to go in the book. So I'm just going to get a little bit more in with a clean syringe. I'll use my new one. I really like how that splatters. This ink is pretty awesome. And then to label it, like for my records, I just take my regular Jetstream uni pen that came with my, or that I purchased. Well, no, this was the free item that came with my Hobonichi. And with the black, I just label it. So that one is Noodler's Firefly, which I really like that one. And I don't know about anybody who's watching, but me and my pen pals have been talking lately about pens, particularly the TWSBI Egos, because that's my favorite fountain pen. My pen pal who sent me this, like, here kitty kitty ink, she introduced me to the TWSBI Egos, but one of my other pen pals has a huge fountain pen collection, and we were just chatting the other day because we connect on social media, and she was sharing with me some pictures of her TWSBIs, and she has like a lot of the colors that were limited or exclusive releases from past years. So now I'm like going on a hunt for those colors from previous years. I'm looking at like eBay, you know, Amazon, where whoever might like do resales to try to find them. Because if you're like me, if I like a particular ink, I get a pen specifically for it, and I keep just that ink and that pen. So for example, this Diamine Writer's Blood was gifted to me with a TWSBI Eco from that pen friend who sent me the Hello Kitty Kitty, and I only load that pen with that ink. Same thing with the Here Kitty Kitty. It was gifted to me with an Eco TWSBI, or a TWSBI Eco. So that's the only ink that I ever put in that fountain pen. And then I did the same thing with the inks that my latest pen pal sent me. Is the pens that they gave me with these samples that they sent, they are loaded with the specific inks only. So the inks that I like that they shared with me, that I fill those pens with, those I'm going to buy the larger bottles of, and those will be the only ones that I ever put in those pens. And I guess I'm just sentimental like that, and I was just curious if any of my viewers are like that also, or if you regularly clean your pens out and like change the ink colors. So this next one is Mentis, and it's elderberry. I'll go back to this other syringe. Again, I don't mind that I'm mixing these inks either, because these are just samples, so I'm not worried about them messing with the integrity of the color of the ink. That one's really dark. I didn't really get a good splatter there, but I don't think I'm going to put this one in just because I have a lot of dark inks already, but I do like that. It kind of reminds me of the Writer's Blood. Then this next one is Ferris Wheel Press by, it's by Ferris Wheel Press, and the title of the ink is Bubbling Blossom. I'm excited for Ferris Wheel Press because I have a couple of other ones. This one here, ooh, don't want to get that wet. This one here is the Riveting Pond, and this one over here is Blue Barrel Tonic. So I do like their inks. Get some more of this out. Oh, there's still a good bit in there. I think we're good now. So this one here is Bubbling Blossom. See what it looks like. I like that one. Still a little too dark for me though, so I don't think that one's going to go in either. Okay, so right now we're about halfway through my samples, and I'm beginning to worry a little bit because not many are making them in the book. So we'll keep going here. This one is by Sailor, and it is called Manyo Sakura. It is a lighter one, I can tell already, and perhaps it will make it in. Just test it out a little bit here. I don't know. I don't think I like that one either. I'm kind of thinking about going back to this one here, guys, because if you notice when it dried, it got lighter, and see how now it's kind of like a pinkish color, and there is some glitter showing up in the splatter that has like a purple tone. So I think I'm going to go back to that, which I believe was Dracula. And then I'm really liking how this one dried also. It's like more of a purple than it is dark. And I think that that was the Manu one that we were talking about. So I'm going to go back to the Dracula and add it in. And that's the other thing that I noticed when I was doing this too, being inexperienced, is when they dry, oftentimes the inks take on a different shade, which I just think is really cool. And then I'm curious too, because the paper types are different that I'm working with, how the color will show up in the Techo versus the 160 GSM paper, dot grid paper. Just get a little bit more in there. Okay, I'll just label that one real quick. So that is the, I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna have to Google this. Do Google Translator or something. Wearingeul, and that is Dracula. And I'm just curious if, being in my Techo on this paper, if any of that like purple glitter will come through or not, because I think that's really pretty. And then this is the one that I believe was like a purple, a light purple. See if I can get some in this syringe. Okay, that obviously mixed with the previous Firefly and turned it green, so that was probably not the purple one that I'm thinking about. I don't know which one that was now. Moving on, I don't want to keep taking up so much time. Alright, this one is Noodler's Hellfire. I'll try it out. See what we get here. That's a really pretty pink. That's going in the book. But I don't think I want it right next to this red, so I'm going to put it down here for the 21st. That's the nice thing about getting behind with this, is then you can have a little bit more play with where your colors go. And that is Noodler's Hellfire. Alright, moving on. Next we have Ferris Wheel Press again, and it is Golden Gate Glow. Curious how this is going to be. Just clearing out some of that ink from the previous color. Okay. Oh, that's a really pretty orange. I do like that one. So it's going to go in the book, but I'm going to put it on the 23rd to kind of get it away from the pinkish red that we just put in there. Definitely like that one. It reminds me of the TWSBI Eco Heat, the newer TWSBI Eco Heat, which I'm considering getting. I don't have any orange pens. So I'll just label this one real quick. That is Ferris Wheel Press and Golden Gate Glow. Alright, keep going here. Next we have another one by Ferris Wheel Press. This is Frontenac Blue. Again, sorry for my pronunciation. You know, earlier on my channel when I first started, I had somebody call me out for how I was pronouncing Goulet. I was saying Goulet. And, you know, there's that saying about how you should never make fun of somebody if they mispronounce something, because it most likely is because they learned how to pronounce it by reading, and that should never be, you know, made fun of. So yeah, I'm definitely pronouncing through reading on these because I've never heard them pronounced before. But I probably will go on Google Translate later when I get done, because I am curious and see how they're most commonly said. I really like this one. It's going in there. No questions about it. Frontenac Blue. Very nice. I like the splatter on it too. And when you splatter, you can do a full big splatter like I just did there, or you can do these little mist ones. Personally, I like the mist ones best. But if you notice in, say, like this one here, when you have more ink in the splatter, you get more of the color tone changes. Like how I was showing you on the outside, it's a different color than the main color of the ink, which is really cool. Okay. Trying to write very carefully while these are wet. And I'm trying not to smear them also. This honestly, guys, is like the cleanest I've been when working with my fountain pen inks. So, and if anybody is watching and it thinks I'm being messy, you've got no clue. Like, usually when I'm not super focused like I am now, it's all over me. It's all over my workspace. So, yeah. This next one is by Diamine Inks, and it's Appletini. So I'm curious about it. I don't currently have any green inks. Let's see how it is. Definitely like that. That's kind of like how the blue mixed with the Firefly turned out. So I'm putting that in the book. That is making the book for sure. An interesting fact, I've mentioned this before on my channel, but I used to work in a paint shop with a bunch of guys. I was the only girl. And like all the guys would always help customers when they would come in with like neutral colors. And I always called myself the fun one because I would be more catered to the customers who liked bright, bold colors, because that's just my personal taste. So I was like the oddball, literally, in that group of guys. And so this Appletini, it just reminds me of when I used to work there, because I got all the paints from my house when I worked there, and I repainted every room of our house. And our bedroom is candy apple green. So it is very much like this green. And I know there's probably some people watching who are cringing right now to think that a room in their house is that bright, but all of the rooms in my house is bright. So like my bedroom is candy apple green. I just painted my living room a electric blue. And if you're a fan of SATC, like me, that is where that electric blue came from. It's how Carrie Bradshaw painted her apartment when she did the revamp in that series. And then my kitchen is bumblebee yellow. And my bathroom is orange, like a bright orange, like this ink we just swatched out. So, yeah, I love bright colors. Then this next one is Diamine Arctic Blast. We only have a couple more left to go, guys. I'm trying not to chit-chat too much while I do this to keep the video short. Okay, see how this one is. Ooh, that's a deep blue. I like that one. Blue's my favorite color, so that's definitely going in the book. Wow, that looks so good on the Techo paper. See the difference paper makes? I mean, now see how it's dried, how there's glitter popping through, which I didn't even know this had glitter, and now it's starting to show up over here. I love that. Absolutely love sparkles, love glitter. Okay, so that is Diamine ink. For all I know, guys, I'm not saying that right either, so. I'm very new to the fountain pen world, even though I've been using them for a long time. I don't know all the verbiage, the terminology, none of that stuff. This next one is Jetstream, which is the same one that glow-in-the-dark ink is by, and this is called Wearingeul. I think that's how you say it. I have a feeling this one is going to be a darker ink. Oh, that blue is really pretty when you splatter it too. So pretty. Sorry, I don't mean to be playing when I should be focused here. I just get excited pretty easily. It doesn't take much to make me happy, guys. It's the little things in life. This is pretty similar to that one. So I don't think that's going to make it in. But I do like it though, because it's blue, of course. Okay, and then the last one is Ferris Wheel Press Unfettered Flight. Okay. And hopefully I like it because I have today's block to fill in. And then I think I'm going to have to go through these again to finish this, or order more samples. What do you think, guys? Should I use what I have, or should I order more samples? It's kind of a no-brainer. Order more samples, right? Especially when they're only a couple bucks. This is another really pretty blue. Wow. I'm putting it in. I like it. If you hear that scratching and wonder what that is, it's because this syringe that I'm using is the medical grade one. So it has the pointed tip for like going into like your skin. Don't recommend using that. But if it's what you have, it's what you have. And that's why it's scratching. You can hear it scratching the paper. All right, so let me document this one real quick. And that is a Ferris Wheel Press Unfettered Flight. Alright guys, so that is what I have for you today. I'm going to lift this up carefully. It's so wet, so you can get a closer look at them. I'll probably at some point come back on here when I'm flipping through this, maybe in my journal catch up when I do my Q2 reflection, and show you how I filled up the remaining blocks and which ink colors won out on those. So, but this is what I have so far up to today. And I'm going to go have fun playing with these new colors because some of them are drying really awesome. I would say my favorite is this one here, the Dracula. And this red is starting to interest me. I'm also very curious about this fluorescent Firefly by Noodler. So I'm going to go play with those, do some splattering, and then pen pals, if you're watching, watch your upcoming letters because I have been decorating stationery with these splatters. So you'll get to see some of these ink samples. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.